And we've made it to the Caribbean Sea or the Atlantic Ocean, depending who you speak to. And we've done the east to west and west to east crossing. And now we are approaching the most northern part of our journey in Colombia. So all we have to do now is grab some sand and then turn around and go all the way south. Nice breeze from the ocean to chuck a little bit of the humidity out of the car. Because it's hot, damn hot in Colombia. Let's see what the next adventure comes to. First we're gonna go to a mall to cool down, do some shopping, and then gonna find a campsite or maybe a hostel to stay in.
What's my fan?
I'm your biggest fan. We started our exploration of the northern coast of Colombia by visiting the city of Cartagena, one of the most visited places in the whole of Colombia. It's a city full of history from the Spanish times and even pre-Columbian era. The city is filled with interesting characters, amazing public art, and we did a very informative walking tour exploring all the little streets of the old town. When the sun sets, the city changes character, and for us we can feel the taste and sounds of Africa, as there's quite a big old ex-slave population living in Cartagena, and it's very clear in the music and the dances that you see on the streets, where street performers come out to earn a living. As the sun sets, the city cools down considerably, as it's very hot and humid along the coast. So we took the opportunity of slowly getting lost in the little alleys and joining the tourists and also the local population in the streets. It was a good opportunity for us to look for some cocktails, drink a fruit juice, and just sit back and do some people watching in the narrow alleyways. One thing that's quite different about Cartagena is that the local population and the tourist mix, and the people live right in the very tourist center. So it was interesting to watch people playing dominoes right in the middle of a very touristy and busy street. Oh, 3 days in Cartagena was enough for us, as we are not really city folk. So we took the road east along the coast, over a very modern big bridge, hunting for a beach to chill and relax for a few days. We've heard a rumor about a very nice campsite close to the town of Palomino, so we hit the road and went looking. We quickly fell in love with the northern coast of Colombia and the Caribbean Sea, and we found the perfect campsite for us, nestled under palm trees with a nice breeze. We were also connected up with friends of ours that we met more than a year ago in Chile when we just bought our car. It was a great place to relax and connect. Annalyn and Ben were the perfect company, very chilled, and we got to know each other much better. We then took time out of our busy schedule of chilling on the beach by collecting some sand to take home with us, as we've decided to collect sand from all the beaches on the north coast, the south coast, the east and west coast of South America as we travel the continent. Just something for us to remember our adventures. Very early for a change, heading to Tayrona National Park on the north coast of Colombia. We have Mr. Buzzington, people we met in March last year in Santiago de Chile, joining us on the adventure today. Karin, Ben and Lynn's going to go for a walk. And I'm going to see how far I get in the car walking. But it took a lot of effort to get up this early after all our slow mornings, chilling by the beach. A short part of the walk was wheelchair accessible with a nice wooden walkway, so I could join them for the first 20 minutes or so. Much too soon I had to say goodbye to them as they continued on in what would be quite a challenging walk in the humidity and the heat. Luckily they took quite a lot of water with and they had a great time, while I turned back and looked at all the small little things that I could find in the park, like these ants carrying loads and loads of leaves to their nests. We've been surprised on how little wildlife we have seen in South America so far. Maybe it's coming from South Africa that we are spoiled for wildlife, but in this park they saw quite a lot of primates feeding. Although we didn't know all the species, it was great to observe them as their troops moved through the trees. A very special sighting was this iguana that Karin saw. We also had one in our campsite next to the beach. They live in the palm trees and are quite difficult to spot as they are the perfect shades of green to blend in.
Oh wow, he's really like a reptile.
Is he not a reptile?
He is. But he moves his head like, you know, like...
Morning from Taganga on the north coast of Colombia, and this morning we're up extremely early, still half asleep and getting ready for a dive. So we are at the dive center, everything's packed and ready to go. So let's take you along and see what we can find under the sea. So we piled onto a small diving boat and headed back into the Tayrona National Park, this time on the seaside, and then got geared up and hit the water. It was great being back under the water. The last time we dived was in Galapagos. The sea was pretty clean. We only saw this one car tire, as this park is getting cleaned up more and more, and fishing is slowly being reduced. We had great visibility and saw amazing sea life. So here's a small sample of everything that we saw. We were even lucky enough to see 2 seahorses, something that we rarely see while diving. Much too soon our 2 dives were up, and it was time to head back up to the boat and head back to the mainland. But it was a great dive and we'll always remember it. Are you ready to say goodbye?
Yeah.
It's that time for us to say goodbye to our favorite beach on the north coast of Colombia. We have how many kilometers ahead of us?
We have 1,100.
For this first leg, and to Ushuaia it is
8,000.
8, maybe
I'm not
10,000.
sure, maybe more. 10.
After crossing the continent from east to west and west to east, we are now going to cross from north to south. But first we have to say goodbye before we can say hello to the new.
This has been my favorite beach. I've been pleasantly surprised. Some people complained about the color of the ocean, but I'm not that particular. It was nice and cool, not too humid, warm water, shade, iguanas, yeah, Barnaby Beach. We came back 3 times.
And we had great company. We had Mr. Buzzington on the road with us.
Ben and Annalena, and the guy with the long name, and Anna is her name.
Anna Louis, the Spanish people we met last night. We had a great time.
Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised by the Caribbean. I'm so happy that it wasn't as hot as Brazil. It's still not that you can't put one shirt if you live in your bikini, but it's time to go.
Yes, so
Upwards.
it's the earliest we've been ready to hit the road for months. We are all excited to see Colombia again, taking a slightly different path, and hopefully we will see we have a side mission, a mini adventure that hopefully in the next few days we're going to look for. The deserts of Guajira on the northeastern coast of Colombia, which will be our last stop. Quite an inhospitable area that we're wanting to explore. But that's a story for another time, so please remember to like, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you won't miss out on future adventures. Thank you for our Patreons for making these videos possible.